I was born in Swansea. We lived on a council estate in a 3-bedroom house. I've always been humble, very humble, very honest, just a very normal guy. Arsenal Football Club, George Graham, came and, signed me for £2.5 million when I was 19. At the time, it was unbelievable, really, how quick it had happened. Didn't discuss money, I wasn't interested in money. My wife will always tell you, I didn't play the game for money, really. Football was my love ever since I was like 5 or 6 years of age. It was football. Played for 4 or 5 Premier League clubs. Had a great time at Celtic for 5 years, won trophies. From a council estate in Swansea, and I'd like to think I did okay, and there's a lot of footballers that would swap my careers for theirs. My first experience of gambling, it was the fruit machines. I worked in a nightclub when I was 14, collecting glasses. All the lads used to go across the road to the 24-hour snooker hall called Riley's, and all my mates are enjoying. I'm putting money in, I'm wanting the jackpot. I know every reel, I've mastered all the reels. And then I just became addicted to these fruit machines. Couldn't wait to get out of the nightclub at 2 a.m. And then we played football then, locally on a Saturday, and I'd have no subs. My parents used to say, "Oh, John, well, where's all your money gone, son?" And I'd make excuses up, because at that time you never think your son's got a major problem. The big thing for me was that I always earned big money. It wasn't necessarily affecting my football, my form, because I was having a great time. I bet on sports, different type of sports, cricket, dart, anything that was live on television, basically. And it got to a stage where I probably wouldn't watch it unless I had a bet on it. But I was fantastic. I went on Question of Sport about 4 or 5 times, and I knew everything, knew every question. The lads couldn't believe how updated I was on all sports, because I was gambling on it. You could ask me about the IPL, or you could ask me about anything. And slowly then, I'm becoming an addict. Without me knowing it, I'm becoming an addict. I was feeling unwell. The cancer was almost on me when I was at West Brom. I had a big lump on my testicle. And I was having a divorce. I was a gambling addict. I was drinking heavy. And I believe my career had come to an end. I had a wonderful career, but it didn't stop me from gambling. There was nothing, because people would say, and I'd be like, well, no, I haven't. I'm not an addict. But I was an addict for probably 10 years, and not realizing that I was. And it was only that at the end of my career, when you got to stop, what's your next move? And then on top of everything else, I found out then that I had testicular cancer that had travelled to my lungs and to my brain. So, I need 2 brain operations to keep me alive, one there and one at the back. I should and probably could have died, Yeah. And it just wasn't enough, even getting cancer and beating cancer, for me to beat this addiction of gambling. I was still thinking of gambling. That's the key message, really, that you never quite realise or appreciate how deep you're getting into this. It's an addiction. It hits you like a bus. Well, what happened was I continued to gamble and upset my wife again, and then she really sat me down one day, and she said, "I've got to go. I can't put up with this anymore. You get on the computer," she said, "and show me this time that it's for real." And I typed in GA meetings, and there was one in Swansea on that Sunday night. And walking in that door for the very first time was harder than facing Martin Keown in training. It was like going and telling people that I'm a gambling addict and I need help was out of my comfort zone. I absolutely got myself into as many meetings as I could, started to learn about what other people's experiences were, how they managed to kick the addiction, how they managed to stay clean. The hardest thing you've done is come here, walk through that door. That's the hardest single thing that you've done, and I'm in the best place in terms of mentally and my views on gambling as I've ever been. Well, there are millions and thousands of people that do enjoy a bet, and I think it's important for me not to say to people, don't bet. It's bet responsibly. People love putting a bet on. I know friends who put a bet on, they do a coupon, they go racing every couple of months. People have £2 on the Grand National every year. Not everybody who gambles is an addict, by the way. But I would say to them that be aware and don't be naive in terms of once in a while you might just chase and then you might lose and then your debts become, more and more and deeper into debt and things. Be aware of when it's time to go and when it's time to have your last bet and things like this. And watch out for the danger signs, the pitfalls. I think the betting sectors now are doing some fantastic new projects. I think bookmakers, they look at the time, they look at accounts, they look at you can actually deposit money into an account. They limit the time that you spend betting on the internet. So I think the sectors and the companies, I think they're doing an awful lot now these days in 2020 that was ever there when I was growing up as a gambler. So for me, these restrictions on gambling and when the fun stops, stop. There's never been a better 5 words to me in my life. When the fun stops, no one wants to gamble and not have fun. And it's the anxiety, it's the pressure you put on yourself. I do believe that bookmakers are taking control and they are trying to help people to gamble safe.